Hi, I'm Bob the Hippie Gardener. If you're a gardener, come on. What I wanted to talk about today was climate a little bit, because we're out here, it's February 3rd, we're in zone 6B, excuse me, 6A, and it's 60 degrees today. And I'm planting in raised beds, so my beds are pretty much thawed out. And so what I'm going to want to do today is plant some stuff. And you're thinking, is he crazy? Why would he plant stuff in February? Well, here's the deal. In Illinois, for the past few years, we've had like a 2-week spring period for cool weather crops. It gets to spring and then it goes to 80 degrees and 85 degrees immediately. We have a really short spring now. So what I try to do is I try to get stuff in the ground as early as possible. And certain spring vegetables like carrots and lettuce and beets and those kinds of things, you can plant if the ground's workable. Will they come up in February? No, they won't. They'll come up when the ground gets to 50 degrees, and that's sometime in April. But they'll be shooting up immediately when the ground gets to 50 degrees. So we're going to plant some crops today and talk about how to do that. So this is a raised bed that I have. And one of the advantages of raised beds is they thaw out earlier. So as you can see here, this bed is completely thawed out. And I'll just make a row here. So I'm going to plant some carrots. And again, the carrots won't come up probably till April. But as soon as the ground hits 50 degrees, they'll be up. Carrots don't need to be planted very deep, so we've got a deep trench. We'll look at what kinds we can plant. Let's talk about corral carrots. These are a good carrot. They're very juicy and they're good for carrot juice. And they're also good for just eating and cooking with too. So I've got this little row here, and what I'm going to do is make it not so deep. And we're going to sprinkle some seeds. Get it about 1/2 inch deep maybe. And I'm just going to gently sow the seeds along here. Now, because I've sown a lot of seeds there, we'll need to do some thinning later in the spring, but that's okay. One of the nice things about having a raised bed like this is it makes thinning very easy because you don't have to bend over. One of the things I always do with my carrots is I always plant radishes with them for a couple of reasons. Number one, radishes will sprout first and push the soil up and make it easier for the carrots to come up. But also they'll mark the rows. So I always put a few of these radish seeds in the rows to kind of mark my rows and help break the soil for the carrots. And you don't need much dirt on top of this because they only need to be about 1/4 inch deep. So I just take a little bit of this row and just push it over like that. You notice I have a lot of organic matter in my soil, which is a good thing. So that's how you would plant carrots in the spring. I've already planted a whole mess of carrots and lettuce over here. And what we're going to do now is we're going to actually plant some lettuce. So I have a couple of varieties of lettuce here. One's called Chadwick's Rodan, and one's called De Rusi. And they're both kind of, they're heading lettuces. They'll make a head, but they're good to use as leaf lettuce too. And so I'm going to move on down here because later I'll add a second row of carrots. I always plant carrots in rows of 2, and I let them kind of shade the ground in between so I don't have to weed as much. But over here I'm going to start a row for lettuce here. And we'll start with this D. Rusi here. And again, you just drop in some seeds. You'll be thinning these a bit later. And then again, they don't need much to cover up with, so what we'll do is we'll just take one side of this little row dirt here and gently put that over there, and don't need to tamp it down very much, just a little tiny bit. And that's how you can get a jump on the season with early season crops. So when spring goes right to summer in June, your stuff is already planted and you'll get an early crop. Early garden is always the best garden, and that's how you do it.